Hello and welcome to my Blender to Unity Tower Defense game tutorial, and in this part we're going to take a look at what happens when we add multiple turrets to our scene. You can now see that we've got a bug. Let's fix it. Now this bug was raised by a commenter in one of my other YouTube videos called Joey. I don't know any more about you, Joey, and your first name's Joey. Brilliantly well written bug that he's written down here in the comments here. Thanks for the series, I could follow very well, but now I'm stuck with the following problem. He's actually gone ahead and added a couple of turrets, and what's happening is the first turret is shooting away, and the second turret perhaps is rotating towards it and trying to destroy it, but before it gets there the first one has been destroyed, and we're getting the equivalent of a null pointer exception here. The reason that this is happening, and if we just spin to line 93 on turret targeting system, line 93, where are you? Here we are. At no point you can see that the current target, we're not checking to see if it's still around. Now we do this in certain places, like look at the target, and in the subclass machine gun target I think maybe fire does the same thing. Now we can go down this path of adding it to every single possible state and just double checking, but I'd like to propose something a little more, how can we say, a little bit more generic and clean, and that is that what we should do, we'll just spin back to Unity, is in our enemy health manager, this one here, enemy health manager, where are you? We should add another event that says if anything's interested in listening to me being destroyed, or me, my health being zeroed out, then register with me, and I will let you know when that happens, and you can then remove me from your array. Alright, now I've already done this, so let's just have a little look at the event manager in here, enemy health. Here we are, this is the new section here. You can see I've written in new so I don't forget. Again, you should be comfortable with this delegate and event model now. We've done this a few times, but what we're saying here is we're going to have a method called enemy destroyed, and it's going to give a game object, an enemy game object, and the reason we want to do that is so that whatever listeners are out there will know which enemy game object it is that's being destroyed, and then the event itself, okay, that people will register to. And if we slide down to our update method, this is the update method that checks to see if we're still alive. That's all it does right now, and it instantiates our explosion, and shortly afterwards checks to see if anything has registered with on enemy destroyed action, and if it has, then call on enemy destroyed object this game object, okay, and then we can destroy it. So this will get called first. So before anything gets destroyed, it's going to call all of these on enemy destroyed actions. That's good news. So we should not be hitting any null pointer exceptions now, because this will have been called first. Alright. So what we need to do then is, in our turret targeting system, we need to add ourselves a listener. And I believe that's on trigger enter. Yes, so on trigger enter what we'll do is we'll say, as usual, add our enemy game object if it's an enemy. And we'll also add we'll get this enemy health manager for that game object, and I'll just uncomment that. We'll say yes, I want to register a new listener method called enemy destroyed, and here is enemy destroyed down here. Enemy game objects dot remove enemy game object, and set current state to turret state dot idle. Alright, so is that making sense? I hope that's making sense. All we're saying is I'm listing out, if that enemy tells me it's destroyed, I'm going to remove it from the array. After I've removed it from the array, I'll set it back to idle. Now, Unity, and I'm sure people are going to correct me if I'm wrong here, is not multi-threaded in the way that it calls these methods. So we can comfortably assume that it won't be trying to lock on and enemy being destroyed, this method here being called at the same time. It calls it sequentially. In fact, you can even order the scripts in the order that they run, and we can maybe take a look at that later on. I don't think we need to now. The only other thing that we just need to be aware of is that we should stop listening, or we should remove our listener here if it exits the collider. We don't have to do this, because if we, this remove method, I think I might have said this before, this one here, it won't remove it if it's not there. Alright, so if it's somewhere else and it gets destroyed, it just possibly makes it a little bit more efficient and possibly a little cleaner, and who knows, it might sort us out later on. So okay, so that is all we need to do. So we've actually registered our method here and set the enemy destroyed as the method to set it back to idle again. Excuse me, I'm stuttering away here. Yeah, so let's take a look and see if that works. Go back to Unity. Click on here. It removes all the errors. Let's just click on the second machine gun turret here and just have a look and see what happens. Destroyed. We still have the problem. Okay, what have I done wrong? Let's have a quick look. It's still saying it's there in line 93 on lock on, but I was under the impression that I had resolved. Have I actually made sure that I've included this? Have I saved everything? It's always worth trying, isn't it? Making sure I've saved everything. I may not have saved everything, people. My apologies if that's the case. 1 second. Because I uncommented those lines, didn't I? Just pressing Control S. Here we go again. Let's go to the console. There we go. And now we're working. Now we're working fine. You can see that both of them are firing at it, and everything is rather good. Now this leads me to think that we could possibly clean up on the rest of the code where we're checking for nulls and remove that so that it's not quite so confusing. So let's do that as well. Let's go back into our turret targeting system, and wherever it's got this check, see, it's not always there. Sometimes I've done it and sometimes I haven't. So for me, I'm going to remove, let's just comment it out for now. Let's just comment all of this out for now, because we don't need to remove it anymore. Alright, so we're going to keep that lot there, that look at target, and I think, let's just save that, and I think here as well we're doing a check. Yeah, maybe fire. So let's just remove these. So basically don't check anymore. I'm pretty sure, what's save all? Let's just make sure it's Shift Control S, is it probably? Save all, yeah, Control Shift S, or I'll remember that. Right, so now we're effectively just saying, you know, reduce health by that amount there. This should look a lot cleaner now. We don't have to do all this look at target, and we don't have to add any if nulls anywhere else. So let's give it a go. Did I click it? I did now. Here it comes. First one fires. I lowered the damage per second slightly so that I'll check the console, make sure there's no surprises. That error's still hanging around from the original run. And we're looking good, guys. We're looking good. I don't think we need those checks anymore, because these enemies are now telling the turrets if they get destroyed, and the turrets are then removing them from the array before the actual destroy method is called, which means we don't need to do null checks, which is always good. I mean, you could argue that perhaps we should put them in there as a fail-safe if things do get multi-threaded, but I'm not going to right now. Look at that, all cleaned up. Health is still at 100. Brilliant. So thank you very much. I hope that made sense. Please comment if you have any issues, and like and subscribe, and do feel free to like Joey, contact me if you have any problems, because I love to try and help people around with this, and I'm really glad that this one was raised, because it was one of the ones that I thought might happen with multiple turrets, and sure enough it did. So thank you, Joey, for bringing this up. I hope that's been helpful. Catch you next time. Bye bye.